Hi, I'm Dannie Nicole, and this is episode 5 of Small Talk. Yay!
Your arm is off frame right now, just so you know.
Oh, I haven't walked in to the set yet.
Are
you filming?
I'm getting B-roll.
Why are you not filming?
What? Hello! Welcome to the 5th episode of Small Talk! I'm your host, Lila Hart. I'm super excited for this episode. It's been a little while since we filmed because I've been gone. I was in South Dakota in Seattle for some comedy. I just want to give a shout out to Sioux Falls Snow Jam Comedy Festival. Dating is difficult for me because, I'm very controlling. I've got a very controlling personality, but it's all good. I've got a new boyfriend, and he's awesome. Yes, thank you. Clap it up. I love the comments. He's awesome. My man, he has his own house, lives in his own house, is very ambitious, goes to a lot of meetings, but every time I call him, he always answers. What I'm saying, ladies, it's dope dating a dude in rehab. You know what I mean? My man has a curfew and everything, Monday through Friday, 10 p.m., and on the weekends, 1 a.m., I've got to sign him out. I don't worry about my man being out at the clubs, popping bottles, banging bitches. No, he's at home, he's in bed, he's in 12-step. He's gonna go from me to what, me to who? Relapse? I don't think so. This pussy is his new drug. There's a big cup of coffee. Hopefully Starbucks will sponsor us. That would be great. So anyways, I had to have a lot of flights because I flew from LA to South Dakota, and then from South Dakota to Seattle, and then from Seattle back to LA. And when I fly, I love to wear my footy pajamas, because people at the airport are much nicer to you if they think that you're a child. So I flew in my footy pajamas. I wore my pink ones with the little hearts. It was great. South Dakota was very cold. I got to see a monument, which was just a funeral home, and I saw a field in South Dakota, and I did a lot of comedy. It was so much fun. So it was great. When I went to Seattle, I got to see my parents. I love my mom and dad. My parents finally got to see me do stand-up, which was awesome. I performed at the Seattle Underground, so hopefully we'll be getting booked and going back there again soon. And I can suck a dick standing up. Thank you. What's up, Dad? My parents are in the audience. Hi, Mom and Dad. My parents have been married for 27 years. It's amazing. Yes. My dad's from Louisiana. My mom's from the Philippines. Safe to say that my dad really loves my mom, and my mom really loves America. So, God bless the USA. I'm so excited for the guest that we have on Small Talk, because when I met my guest a couple years ago, it was truly love at first sight. And we're about to bring her on right now. Give it up for Dannie Nicole! So we're both comedians, and we met at Crack 'em Up Thursday. Shout out to Nichelle Murdoch, who will hold on the show.
Yes, we love you.
But we met at Crack 'em Up, and that was a couple years ago. And I remember meeting you and being like, "Oh my God, we're the same size!" It was so exciting. And then we freaked out and hugged each other, and we took a photo together, and we've been
amazing.
besties ever since.
That's right.
Every time we see each other at Crack 'em Up, it's been amazing. Yeah. So where are you from?
I'm from Detroit.
Detroit, and when did you move out to Los Angeles?
I moved here about 6 years ago.
6 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, I've been out in California for 5 years, but in LA for 2.
So I
going on my
moved
3rd
out
year.
around the same time too.
Yeah, in 2013.
Yeah.
Is when I came out here. So you're about the same size as an LA parking leader too.
Yes, I am.
And how tall are you?
Beautiful. I'm 4'5".
And I'm 4'6". I'm an inch on you, girl.
But why you gotta do that? This is a good moment that we had. You had to ruin it. It's fine.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. I have to soak up that 1 inch.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway.
So how did you get into comedy?
Well, I mean, obviously. I mean, what else would I be doing? I can't reach anything, so mics are adjustable. So I just felt like I was always the class clown, and I was always on stage, and I wanted to mix the two together. So I just started doing comedy for my family and friends, and they're really honest people, actually. So I knew that if I started doing comedy in front of them, they'd give me their honest approval. And one guy was like, "Hey, I really didn't expect this show to be good, but you're actually funny." And so that's when I decided to keep going, doing comedy.
And outside of comedy, you do stuff on TV as well, right?
Yes, honey, because yes, I'm an actor. I actually started acting when I moved out here. I was in a movie called Oz the Great and Powerful. Go watch it so I get paid. Residuals. No, that's just kidding. Yeah, so that was, and it was also my first time meeting other little people. So that was really, really awesome. Like,
what was that experience like for you? How many of there were you?
First of all, like the first day, I was surrounded by 100 little people. So imagine not ever meeting anybody that's an adult, your same height, and then jumping into like hundreds of them. Like, I've never felt so much like a gerbil in my life. Like, just a room full of us. Like, we were taking over the world. And and up until that point, I didn't feel like I could be a little person. Like, I didn't think I could be a dwarf. And one of them walked up to me and he's like, "Have you been to any of the conventions?" And I said, "Excuse me?" He said, "You haven't been to any of the LPA conventions." I was like, "Excuse me, don't use that language with me." He's like, "Honey, we're adults. We're both standing up and we're looking at each other in the eyes. Like, I know you can be a dwarf." So anyway, it was actually very heartwarming. Everybody was very, excited for me because they were telling me all about myself that I didn't know. They're like, "Hey, yeah, why don't you get something called some, what do you call those? The pedal extensions?" I was like, "Wow, I could put pedal extensions on the car so I could actually reach the pedal?" Don't ask me why I didn't know that. That's not your business. Anyway. They just taught me a lot, and it felt cool to actually talk to other people that were my height and could relate to me. Even their experiences with, like, kids, because that's awkward with us, right?
Right.
So one guy told me, I was like, "What do you say when, like, a kid asks you why you're so small?" He said, "I tell the kid, this is what happens when you don't eat your vegetables." I walked around crying. That was hilarious. So, anyway, so you can imagine that was really cool to be able to talk to people about, being this height, never having been able to do that before.
Well, it's really interesting because I didn't even meet anybody I have spina bifida, and I'm the same size as like little people as well, and I didn't meet anybody with spina bifida until I was 21 years old,
Yeah.
So I'm 26 now, and like my whole life I never met anybody that was the same size as me or dealt with any of the same issues that I dealt with. So it's been really, I feel like we're really blessed here in Hollywood because this is kind of like normal to meet people who are dealing with these different challenges. But I was super excited to meet you because we're both like really short when we sit down. Like, you can't see out of the window either, so it's great.
I can't see anything. No, like first of all, people, they don't realize how convenient it is to just be able to sit at a dinner table and be able to sit past the table. Like,
I know,
and see.
it comes up to here for me.
Like, the glass literally covers up my face if I get some water. Like, it's a whole different experience, And we have to, like, sit on our legs and our knees, like, so that we can be of normal heights sitting down, People don't get that. People like it. Because I have scoliosis, and, like,
Me too.
my scoliosis, my spine just goes that way. And the crazy thing about scoliosis is that it shows up differently for different people. Like,
Right.
some people, they just have pain. Some people, they're in wheelchairs. But, like, for me, I just can't reach stuff. So, I feel very happy about that. But also, it just, I think you can relate too. It's like, I always tell people it's not a good enough excuse to be this height. Like, people are like, "Yeah, I'm a little person." And they're like, "Are you a little person?" No, not quite.
But it's like, but you still technically are, like, we still technically are little people, right? But it's like not, it's just so confusing. And I feel like even at 26, I'm still struggling with like my identity. Like, who am I? What am I in this world? And that's why I'm so grateful for stand-up comedy, because I feel like comedy has given me this outlet to be able to talk about the stuff, to be able to make fun of these situations, and at the end of the day, like, really accept myself. You know, it's like, do you feel like you can relate to that?
Yes, I feel being able to laugh about it. Like, that's why I said when you asked me, you know, why did I get into comedy? Like, it's my relief. It's where I get to make fun of, and it's where it's like catharsis. You know, being able to release all of this, you know, frustration, or, you know, because sometimes you have your sad moments. You know, you want to look like everybody else. You want to feel like everybody else. You know, and it's very healing to be able to have people, because the crazy part is, even though we're so different, we have a similar story. Everybody can relate to self-esteem. Everybody can relate to not feeling like they belong at some point in their lives. So even though our height and our shapes are different, our story, people can identify with it, you know, because if we're honest with ourselves, we're all trying to fit in. You know, at least at some point, you know.
And that's the beautiful thing about stand-up comedy. It's like, had I not gone into comedy, had you not gone into comedy, we would never have met. It's like, as soon as I saw you at the comedy club, I was like, oh my God, she understands me. She gets it. You know, just sitting here next to you, it's so great. I could just hug you like this. You would look at she would look at each other.
It's so beautiful. Isn't she beautiful? Come on, like,
it is.
Like, yes, and this is beautiful. This friendship is beautiful. Like, I'm so grateful.
So let's get to the nitty-gritty. Are you dating? Are you seeing anybody? What's going on?
God, no. Okay. First of all, I just broke up with my boyfriend.
Oh.
I know. I'm super sad because he's my best friend. But what I can say is that I'm trying to be cool right now, because I think sometimes you can relate to this, but we jump into relationships and we kind of find our safety in relationships, you know. And I just want to get to a space where I feel comfortable in my skin, and I'm not depending on someone to validate my beauty or make me feel good. Like, I just want to get to a space where I feel good inside and out.
Ditto, yes. Learn to love yourself before anybody else can love you.
We're queens out here, you know? So, you know, I'm just doing what I love. I'm doing comedy, and I'm trying to, as Miss America as it might sound, I just want people that don't feel loved, that don't feel good about themselves. I want them to hear my story.
And I'm going to put her Instagram up here, so fellas, you want to slide into her DMs.
Also, I just want followers, so.
All right. No, I wanted to talk about what you were talking about in the car, about dating on Bumble.
Oh my God. Oh, I forgot about that. Don't kill me.
Smiles is on Bumble right now.
No, it's on Bumble right now.
Okay, so we were in the car on the way here.
I'm gonna swipe right when I see him.
Have some confidence.
But you were telling me this funny thing about Bumble.
Okay, first of all, like, all these dating sites are really awkward for me, because, like, if you look at my selfie, I look normal. Like, so I kind of catfish men, and I don't mean to. It's funny, like, and so I have this awkward thing, like, how much information should I let them know on my page? Like, should I be like, hey, I'm also very small, like, or hey, I'm also 4'5", and then they're like, that's cool. But then 4'5", they don't really, I understand what 4'5"
They really
like.
don't.
They're kind of like, oh, that's short, right? So then they meet me, and it's like, oh, yeah. I see what you're saying.
You weren't kidding.
Right. You weren't kidding about that, right? You were serious about that short stuff, wasn't you? So,
Thank you, honey. Yeah.
so not only am I small, I also have scoliosis, so I don't look like a normal shaped, you know, average person. So So I don't know. Should I put that on my bubble? Oh, also I have scoliosis. Then it just looks like I'm doing it. And like, you know what? She sounds creepy. I'ma just. I got baggage, is what I'm saying. So yeah, it's an interesting experience, and I'm still trying to figure that out. I think. We were saying, like, girl, just take a picture next to yourself, next to like a.
Well, I'm on my old Tinder profile when I used to be on Tinder all the time. All my photos were me standing next to a parking meter. Every picture was me like posing in a different outfit next to the parking meter. It's like, you know how tall a parking meter is. And one time I went on a date with a dude, and even though he'd seen the parking meter, I show up and he's like, "Oh my gosh, you're so small," and I'm like, "You parked here. You knew."
Like, don't act like this was a trick.
You gotta remind them that the parking meter is actual size.
Oh, like the cereal box.
Yeah, actual size of parking meter.
I literally put on there 4'6", 75 pounds, as tall as an LA parking meter, and I do comedy. That's what I put on there. You know, so it's like, what you gonna say?
Okay.
It's all
Maybe I'm pitching for something like, hey, do you know how tall like a first grader is? And they're like, I'm shorter than that. So you're like, it's also very, you know, because we were talking about too our relationships with kids, you know, and I think it's funny because my relationship with them is normal when I'm sitting down. Like, it's all like, oh, hi, gorgeous, and then I stand up, and then their whole mood changes. They're like, are you an adult?
Are you a real adult? That's what I've gotten from kids before.
Yes.
Are you a big kid or a real adult?
Yeah. Like, should I ask you for candy or should we just eat together? It's hilarious.
Well, you do background acting for kids as well.
I do,
right?
I do. And like, it's nothing makes you feel really great about yourself than moving out the way so they can make more money than you. So I got like 7-year-olds, like I'm replacing them. Like you know, like literally I walk off set and they walk in and they make the big money.
Stand-in.
Yeah. So I literally, I'm like, okay, this is where you want to stand for the camera.
Just come on through.
Hey, Mike.
Hi,
How you doing? I'm Danny.
Want to say pop up and say hi?
I do not. No, don't. No.
Okay, well, we'll catch you later. He looks like he's about to kidnap the both of us.
Go back to your van.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
You feel safe? Okay, so.
So you do like Nickelodeon stand-in work?
Yeah, we both done that kind of
Honey,
stuff.
Dope as fuck.
What they'll
Get
do
that
is
money.
they put like a wig on you so you match the kids' clothes,
Yeah,
and like
stand-ins
because
make
kids
money.
can't stay in past the certain amount of time, and
Yeah, so that we fill in so they don't have to do the awkward stuff like stand there while the camera is being positioned. So we just say, okay, this is what you're supposed to do. They come in, take our place, say their lines, get paid, and we all live happily ever after, you know? It's just real funny because the kid is technically my boss. Like, like I have to tell you where the camera is supposed to. Anyway, but it's cool, right? We get paid, and we get paid.
Yeah,
So,
hell yeah.
people, it's some little people that are like, why are you doing that kind of stuff? Because I'm trying to make this money, okay? Money moves. Yeah, so that's my story.
well, is there anything big that you're working on or any exciting projects?
Let's see. All I know is that next year I'm gonna be on a TV show. I can't tell y'all what it's gonna be.
Can you tell us what channel?
I don't know. And I'm black, so I'm not trying to take no chances with my money. So listen, I may be a little person, but I'm still black. Okay, listen. So the moral of the story here is just like keep on the lookout for like a small, sexy looking little person that will be on TV, and you should be fine. Yeah, just keep a lookout. I just wanted to say sexy because that makes me feel. I feel like we always get cute. Like that's what people don't call me
So
cute.
cute.
Okay, look at all this vivaciousness. See, you know, this is not cute. I don't know, but cute does sound kind of. I like when men call me cute.
Oh, you're so cute, girl.
Yeah.
You're so cute.
I like when they call me baby girl. I do look like a baby.
I do sit in a car seat, you know.
Oh wait, we gotta talk about that. Oh my god.
Okay, yeah. So I sit on a booster seat when I drive, And I carry an extra one in my trunk, like just as backup. I just have it. And one time I picked her up and she got into my car and I saw she was like sitting real low. She couldn't see out the window. I was like, hey, girl, I got an extra booster seat. So I pulled it out. We pulled over. I pulled it out the truck and she was so damn
Let
happy.
me tell you, that was like one of the happiest moments of my life. Like for somebody to get me on a new level, like literally, like she got me. But the funny part, okay, I may not know if I'm a dwarf yet, but I got the booty of one. Like, so she offered me this booster seat. I'm like, I don't know if my booty gonna fit in this.
We
Like,
didn't have to switch.
yeah, so I had to put a pillow on top, which is cute, you know. So it was a little bit more comfortable. But I mean, y'all can't tell right now, but you know, I got. Anyway, it's something. So
Check out her Instagram.
no, I'm classy. Okay, don't look at my Instagram to look at my belief because you're not gonna see. You're gonna see selfies, so I can trick you into thinking that I'm really taller. That's why you're doing this. Just kidding. So where was I? Oh yeah, so that was a magical moment. That's when I knew. I was like, this is something special.
So great.
Aren't we
So
just
great.
so disgustingly adorable? I know. Stop. Don't tell us.
Like being little people, but then also being minorities and being women in comedy, and then how when you see people on the street, like another little person, you expect them to.
Oh, hilarious. Okay, let me tell you. Y'all gonna love this. So, okay, for all the minorities out there, you know how when you see, for instance, another black person, you're like, oh, and it's like a room full of white people, and you're like, oh, black person, family, oh, right? You know, thank you. Okay. Or, you know, you might see another Hispanic, you're like, oh, look, another one of us. So when I see another little person, I'm like, oh, look, one of us. So problem is, okay, listen, what's my name? Okay, so I say that to help me remind myself, don't trip. So what I was saying was, what was I talking about?
When you run into another little person on the street.
Thank you, boo. So I met this other little person on the street, and it was really magical. Why did I really forget completely what I was talking about? Oh yeah. So I was on a bus, right? Actually, it was a train. I don't know if that detail matters to you, but we were on the train, and so like first of all, like the rest of the train, they was looking at me and this other little person, like, wow, it's like two of them. They're gonna be best friends, right? So they're all staring at us awkwardly, like. And that other little person got the nerve to just stare at her phone. Like, she didn't even acknowledge me. Like, first of all, like, you need to look at me. Like, we are two little people, like, on a train. Like, you don't see the fabulosity right now? Like, you're not even going to acknowledge me? So, I was kind of mad, but, like, I don't know if it's me or that she's, like, used to seeing little people and I'm not. Like,
You still get excited.
I mean, it's still a thing for me. I still feel like because everybody else was looking at us like we was going to walk off and just be best friends. I mean, if I'm honest with myself, I did too. Like, we have a connection, you know? Like, her legs were swinging when she was sitting down, so I feel like we have an automatic connection. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we did, so that's okay.
That's okay.
It worked out magically for us, so it's great.
Did we talk about that too? Like, our relationships with other little people?
Oh, we can talk about that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's I guess it's just interesting for us because like we're both, I guess technically we're both considered like little people, but we have like the opposite features. Like we have really short torsos, so when we're sitting down, we're the same size. When we sit next to another little person, like they're up to here, like they can see over the steering wheel, but they can't reach the pedals. We can reach the pedals, but we can't see out the window. So you know.
So can you imagine us all part of the same team, but we really just hate each other because they can see out the window, like they can see out the window, but I can reach stuff. So it's just, you know, we have this awkward relationship. So, and it's always like we wanted to fit in. Like, we can't really fit in with average size people, and we can't really fit in with dwarves because they're like, wait a minute, you can reach things. And I mean, I think it's a matter of like understanding that we're a part of the same team. You know,
Right,
it's just
exactly.
like our dwarf is.
Well, I think that's what drew us both into comedy is that like that search for acceptance, right? Is that search for acceptance because before I got into comedy, I went to different disability conferences, I met other little people, and I still kind of felt like I just felt lost. And then I found comedy, and I was able to like talk about these things on stage, kind of make a joke references about it, and it just made me feel better. It made me feel part of this community, and I think that's at the end of the day that that's what we both really want is just to feel a part of something.
I agree. I used to, if I'm being very vulnerable, because I'm having that kind of moment right now. If I'm vulnerable, I would say I used to be jealous of like people that were heavy set or people that had too many freckles or whatever the case. I felt like they could always find somebody that they could identify with. I found myself jealous of other people's like differences, even people with wheelchairs. I said, at least you have a bunch of other people that are in wheelchairs so you can go talk to somebody,
Like murderball or something.
Exactly. That sounds really awful, but I think you can understand how impactful it was for us to meet each other, because it says, wow, somebody else gets it.
Like really gets it to a different level, which is awesome. Yeah. And you're such a great blessing in my life. I'm so happy to have you on the show today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Yes, and we'll put our social medias up here. Be sure to follow. It's Dannie_jokes.
That's right. Dannie spelled DANNIE _jokes.
And she is a hilarious comedian, so you'll have to come see her at the Comedy Store.
There you go. Okay, bye.
Tell me when it's going.
It is.
Mia Mars! Mia, tell us what you have to tell us today.
Alright. This time on I Love LA, I'm going to tell you guys a pretty funny little story about the Walt Disney Concert Hall and how it's a menace to society.
A menace.
It's a menace to society.
Okay.
Yes, it was terribly designed. There's an architect named Frank Gehry. Frank Gehry likes to make stupid fucking shit. There's a great Simpsons joke where they just get a ball of paper and they go, perfect! There is a building on Main Street in Venice Beach right now that just has binoculars on it. Anyways, when he made the Walt Disney Concert Hall, he was a fucking idiot. It is a giant death ray of doom. There are some certain angles that reflect off each other and blind people. Temporarily blind them. It's caused traffic accidents. It's terrible. It's also a giant microwave oven where people get cooked. If you're around there,
Or you
it is
can cook cookies and chicken nuggets.
yeah, kind of like a car in Arizona. Yes, you could cook shit like crack.
Okay.
So, it's a giant fucking microwave oven that costs way too much money to keep cool. And for a while there, it was causing a bunch of blindness and car accidents. So they ended up sanding it down. And it still kind of cooks shit up.
And why did
It's too fucking shiny. And they finally unshined it after a few years. But, come on, it was causing fucking blindness. How funny is that? Fuck you, that's funny.
So this is what you wanted to talk about today? This
The
building?
Walt Disney Concert Hall. Have you ever been?
No.
It's in downtown LA. It's a beautiful yet ugly building. There's a lot of pretty
And this
yet
is a
ugly
place
buildings.
that you love?
No, but it's one of the reasons why I love LA. Because stupid shit like this happens.
Well, thank you so much, Mia. And this is,
Yes, this is what I wanted to talk about. What do you think, Lila?
I don't want to get blind.
Yeah, but could you believe that happened?
Yes.
Bus accidents?
Where are you getting this information?
Internet?
All right.
Same places everybody gets their information?
Okay.
Sometimes I read the newspapers.
Well, thank you very much.
I love you, Lila Hart.
I love you. Okay. And we're back. So we just took a little break to go to Mia's segment, which is what Mia loves in LA. Is that what Mia's segment is called?
I thought it was called I Love LA.
I Love LA with Mia Mars.
Yeah.
So we are back from our little commercial break with Mia. Woo! And so I found out that we both have communications degree. I went to Washington State University. I have a degree in broadcast productions.
Wow.
Minor in poli-sci. And where'd you go to school?
Get it, girl. I went to Oakland University. I graduated with a degree in communications also. I had a secret specialty in film and television.
Oh, yeah.
What do you even... Specialty ain't right. What's that word? A minor. And ladies and gentlemen, this is what a bachelor's degree does for you. Yeah, so I went to...
In California, Oakland?
Oh, my bad. It was in Rochester, Michigan, not California. I went to 2 different schools that I have to hurry up and explain what state. I also went to Miami University my freshman year, and that's not in Miami. In fact, it's in the most boring, awful place you can ever imagine. It's in Oxford, Ohio. Please don't even trip and fall and land in Oxford, Ohio. No offense. Yes, offense. I won't be joining that place again. But anyway, and so then I transferred to oh, I forgot to tell you guys also. And then I transferred to Western Michigan. I'm also indecisive.
Girl, you went to 3 different schools?
Yes.
But you have your degree. Okay, you graduated. You finished.
Says my bank account. And then I eventually graduated from Oakland University, and that's where I was a theater major my freshman year.
Okay.
Isn't that cute?
So cute. And now you do background acting for children.
Yeah. Bachelor's degree, ladies and gentlemen. Go to school.
No, my degree was in broadcasting, and I always wanted to be a news anchor because I thought that behind the news.
I wanted to be a news anchor too.
Yeah, because they wouldn't know that you were small, right?
Yes.
You would trick people. That's what I
We literally just found this out about each other. That's so scary. Yeah. I thought the same too. Like, they can't really see the other half, so we could just pretend that we're average size. And
right, and then that's how I eventually got into comedy. So I had this epiphany in the shower that like no one was gonna hire me as a 4'6" love interest on a soap opera, but if I became a comedian, they would have to write parts of.
How I want us to do a bachelorette. Listen, come on, baby. All of them men fighting over your love. Come on. Bumble.
You want to be the bachelorette, and you want men fighting for your love. Yes.
Come on, you can get paid while finding the man. Yes. Sign me up. You get paid, right? Sorry. I mean, I'm just wondering.
Girl.
You know, just keep it real here.
Keep it real. You don't even put your full body on your Bumble account. You just yourself. What are you talking about?
Lila, I thought we were friends. I feel judged. I don't need that kind of negativity right now. So, okay, I have this fake hair. And you know what? It's okay because I'm real with myself.
Yes.
Can I say that? That's the thing, right? I'm real with myself. I got my fake hair. And I want you to think that I'm tall. But I love myself.
And you can reach things.
That's right. I love myself as a taller self. Just kidding. What I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, is that you should love yourself, and you messing things up. Okay, I was about to be the next Miss America right there, But now people think I'm fake. This is real, okay?
Want to stand next to us so you can feel a little tall? Come here.
Why?
Come in.
I don't need to feel tall.
Yes, you do. You know you love it.
That's not how she meant to say it. She meant to say because you're tall already, and then
Now he looks like a basketball player.
Now he looks like a basketball
Hey,
player.
too much height. I'm gonna fall. That was a magical moment that I hope
I
you
feel like I'm in the NBA.
That was like an intro to a really good TV show.
Okay, bye.
Wait a minute, Eric, wait. Sorry.
Does Eric want to get in this?
I'm acting like he about to leave.
But keep it going.
Listen, Eric, what do you do?
Like,
What do you do, Eric?
yeah, what do I do there?
Eric, you should get in here too, so you could be big like this. Or you could pretend to be big.
I
Everybody
have to angle the camera. No, I can't. I have to manually angle the camera. So.
I think we just like standing up together.
We do.
Right.
We
Just feels
just
like
like it.
NBA All-Star moment.
That's what I meant when I was like, you're in between the both of us.
Right.
You're not gonna feel better than you are right now. You just feel automatic.
Yeah, you looked actually legit huge, Niles. It was like, what the fuck?
That's so funny.
Hi.